Hello and welcome. My name's Anand. I'm an emotional wellness coach. And in today's video, I'm going to explore the third element of inner richness, which is creativity. So if you're new to this channel and you're wondering what is she on about inner richness, I support those that are weighed down with inner struggles and I help them uncover their inner richness. And I wanted to be able to tease out what does inner richness look like? What are the elements or ingredients to it? And so today I'm just going to talk a little bit about creativity, what it is, what it looks like in your daily life, what blocks it, and what can you do to bring more creativity into your life. So creativity is where we make something new, or we use something that's already existing and we present it in a new, original way. And if I were to ask you what is creativity, probably most of you will think the first thing would be a painting or a film or something artistic, singing, dancing, films, making a game, anything that creates or brings in the arts. Writing is another one. God, how did I forget writing? But anyway, all of those artistic things. And that's one aspect of creativity. But there's an awful lot more. It can happen in the sciences. It can happen in maths. It can happen in business. Entrepreneurs are highly creative because they create products or they create services that are new and people never thought of them, and they're like, whoa. There's technology is hugely in the last sort of 30 years. We've seen phenomenal creative acts in technology. But there's also, in terms of inner richness, creativity is an inner thing. It comes from within you. And it's whatever you make or produce has an essence of you in that creative act. Because it has to come from inside. And I think of it as an expression. It's when I do a painting, I might do a painting of a tree, but it's got my essence in that tree. When you look at famous works of art, you see that they have a certain signature, or the same with movies. There's certain directors I really, really love, and they have a certain style in their film, and you go, yeah, that's definitely that particular director, like Clint Eastwood. His movies have a certain style that are like uniquely his. That's that creative essence that goes into it. So I also decided to ask my heart, what is creativity? And when I closed my eyes and I asked, what is creativity? My heart said, it's a moment-to-moment thing that happens. It's silent. It's like a song and a dance. And that doesn't make very good logical sense. But it makes sense to me when I bring a sort of meditative lens through it. And Osho often talks about creativity and meditation being the ultimate act of creativity. And I would agree. When you meditate and then move into a creative act, it has a totally different quality. You're in this flow, you're in this silence, and Osho describes it as an allowing. And I'll use one example of this allowing process. When I cook, I like to just get my vegetables or whatever else I'm cooking with and just wait and allow, and then decide what kind of herbs or spices or salt and pepper or whatever it is I'm going to throw into the soup, for example. My son gets really annoyed because he goes, "Well, how did you make that last soup? Because that one was nicer than the one before." And I'm like, I don't know, because I allowed it to happen. So I can't say exactly what I put into that soup because I'm in a moment and it's a silence. So that's kind of what creativity is and how it may look like in your daily life. It can happen when you're gardening, it can happen when you're cooking, when you're doing artistic endeavours. If business is your thing, that's another aspect of it. Or if your background is in technology, you'll be creating something new there, or presenting something in a very new way. Or even you can, you hear this definition as it's blue sky thinking or out of the box thinking. That's creativity. And what can block creativity are two things. One, trying to force it, and two, the voice of perfectionism, the voice that says you can't do that. And I just want to pause on perfectionism for the moment before I talk about forcing creativity. The perfectionist within us will say, no, you can't do that. You're not good at arts. You're not good at this. Who are you to think that you can create a new product? Who do you think you are that you can do a new business? You get this brilliant idea. You might wake up in the middle of the night. You go, I've got this new thing. And then the perfectionist voice goes, yeah, but how are you going to make money from that? That's going to take effort and time and blah, 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 and has a million ways that'll tell you how you can't do it. And suddenly that creative energy just goes, gone. So that's one element. And what's underneath the perfectionism is fear. It might be the fear of failure, or the fear of success, or the fear of being different, or the fear of being seen. Last week I talked about authenticity, and one of the things that you'll see in a creative act and the expression of it, whatever it comes out in, I'll use painting for an example. You're revealing something of yourself in that painting. It's your authentic expression. And again, I talked previously about courage. So courage you can bring into creativity to overcome fear. So the perfectionism is the external face of fear, but it's fear that's underneath it. And fear can get in the way where, you feel like tight in the body and you just can't do the thing that you're meant to do, or bring up this inspirational idea. So then you try to force it. And when you try to force creativity, it won't happen. It'll either come out badly or you just can't move through it at all. There's a brilliant illustration of this in a program or a series on Netflix called Sandman. And an author manages to capture and hold the muse that we think of. He's a writer and he's trying to capture, or he captures the muse, takes her hostage. First he tries to woo her into being creative, and that doesn't work, and then he forces it. And that has devastating consequences. I won't say too much in case you haven't seen it. But that's an illustration of where creativity is forced and it comes out badly. Either it's inauthentic and doesn't seem real, which people can smell off a mile away, or it's like a copycat. And you just go, that doesn't sound like that author, or that doesn't look like that painting from that artist, or that version of that game isn't like the other one. People are very quick to see it, and we're seeing it particularly with the rise of so much AI content that has this same bland, boring kind of meh thing to it. But when it's genuinely creative, it has an energy. And the creative thing, you might make it and other people enjoy it, but you in the creative process, It can become your meditation. It can become your silence. It can be such a joyous feeling. It can be difficult too when you get stuck, when the energy flow stops and you go, oh, that's why thinking back, it's an allowing. When you allow and don't force, the creativity will come back. Just do something differently. That's what I do. The minute my energy flow stops, I just stop and I go do something else. Like the other day I was painting and the energy dropped and I went, okay, walked away from the painting, did something completely different, came back to it with fresh new energy, and the creativity flowed again. So I didn't have to force any muse. And often what also blocks us is we think about the outcome. I've got to produce this beautiful, amazing thing. And that's the fastest way to make yourself go stiff, and nothing will happen. And I know this, often I've fought with a painting or I've fought with some other creative act where I want it to be perfect. And again, going back to perfectionism, too much pressure. Next week I'm going to be talking about playfulness, so that can be something that you can use to help you with your creativity. So what can you do to bring more creativity into your life? Well, first of all, I would challenge your notion of creativity. If you think it's only for artistic stuff and you say, well, I'm not creative because I'm not artistic, that's just one aspect of creativity. There's an awful lot more. So maybe close your eyes, ask your heart, what is creativity? And then the other thing that you can do, there's a meditation from the Book of Secrets that can help you tap into your creativity. I'll put a link to it. It's number 95. I did it on a different YouTube channel I have. So you could try that meditation whether you're a man or a woman. It's mainly designed for women, but men can also do this. And you could try that meditation and tap into the creativity inside your body. And you can maybe be open to the idea of starting really small with a creative thing, with no outcome, just maybe a doodle, or cooking something in a different way, or even trying to cook, or taking on something new. And I'm going to leave or close with 3 questions that you can take away that might help further enhance your creativity. And so the first question is, what is creativity for you? Where is it in your life have you seen this something new coming around, arising for you? So that's the first question. What is creativity for you? And what creative act have you ever done in your life that has brought you immense joy? Because if you can identify that, that's your starting point. That's your in. And then the final question is, how can you build more creativity into your life? How can you put it within your daily life or your weekly life? Because being creative will bring immense joy. And if you find that most of your time is being wasted on passive activities that take you out of yourself, being creative will bring you right back into yourself. And it will add a dimension of joy that you didn't know was possible. And that feeds into your inner richness. So let me know how you get on with those 3 questions. And if you want to tease them out with me, do drop me an email or connect with me. There's the link to my link tree. Those are the multiple ways that you can connect with me. And I'd love to hear how you're getting on. So until next time, have a lovely day. Bye-bye.